Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk back into the video today. And today the Houston Texans have brought back Sheldon Rankins as the Houston Texans are not really re-signing him, but he was with the Houston Texans in 2023 and played 15 games with the Texans in 2023, 15 starts. He had a forced fumble. He had a fumble recovery, which he returned for a 13-yard touchdown. He had 6 sacks, 9 tackles for loss, 10 QB hits. In the playoffs, in the Texans' 2 playoff games, he had only 3 tackles, wasn't as good in the playoffs as he was in the regular season. But, had a great season for the Texans in 2023, left for the Bengals in, last offseason. 7 games, 7 starts for Rankins. In 2024, the Bengals had a little bit of an injured season, only 1 sack this year. But a great season in 2023 with the Texans. I'm not even kidding. Literally right before this signing was announced. Not joking at all. Literally going through preparing to start talking about what the Houston Texans need to do going into free agency. And preparing for a video of, guys I want the Houston Texans to sign. And Sheldon Rankins was one of those guys. I'm going to say this right now. I'd love just to see this Houston Texans 2023 defensive tackle room as the 2025 defensive tackle room. Malik Collins got released by the 49ers today. He had 5 sacks for the 49ers on a good on a good defense last season. I wouldn't mind seeing Malik Collins back as well. And he's a guy that I was going to talk about alongside Rankins, about both of those guys potentially reuniting with this Texans team. And so it's crazy that I was going over, not just Rankins and Collins returning to Houston, but all these other potential signings for the Texans that I will be talking about, and when I do that in just a little bit. It's crazy that I was going over that, thinking about Rankins potentially joining the Texans, and then I get the alert pops up that Sheldon Rankins is going to be back with the Texans. I'm excited. I like this move. Look, the Texans' defensive tackle room, Foley was he wasn't terrible this year. I mean, I thought he did a solid job. Foley Futukasi came from Jacksonville, had 11 games, 11 starts. He had 1 sack and 24 tackles, 4 tackles for loss. Texans this year also had Tim Settle in the defensive tackle room for the Texans this year. He played 17 games, 11 starts, had 5 sacks. And then the other guy in the defensive tackle room was Mario Edwards Jr., who, he had some solid playing time this year, 13 games, 12 starts, 3 sacks. But it was, I mean, Edwards, Foley, and Tim Settle, they were all really solid, but they weren't as good as Malik Collins and Sheldon Rankins were the year before for this Texans defense. And so I'm glad that he's going to be back. I'd hope for Malik Collins to be back or the Texans to sign. I'd love to see the Texans sign Jonathan Allen, but I think that's unrealistic because I look at it this way. The 49ers have released their two defensive tackles, Javon Hargrave and Malik Collins. That tells me that they're pushing hard for Jonathan Allen. So I think the Texans probably don't have a great chance at that with Jonathan Allen. I'd love Jonathan Allen and Sheldon Rankins as the defensive tackle room next season for this Texans defense, but I think more a realistic option would be the 2023 defensive tackle room of Malik Collins and Sheldon Rankins, who combined for 10, 11 sacks that year. I mean, I just went over what he had. I mean, Rankins in 2023, the Texans had 6 sacks. Malik Collins had 5 in 2023, so they combined for 11 sacks in 2023. I'd love to see Collins back in Houston as well. They traded him to San Francisco last offseason. I think it was a smart move at the time, but his contract is gone at this point. You could sign him to a new deal, just like they're now doing with Sheldon Rankins. Let me know your thoughts on the signing in the comment section, and peace out. Go Texans.